everyone, I'm FM20 and welcome along to episode 10 of Bottom to Top here at Lommel in Belgium. So as you can see from the league table, the start of the season has been kind of a bit meh, really. We've been doing okay, not setting the world on fire. We're currently sat in 6th in the table. We do have games in hand on all of the teams above us, at least one game, which will be the game we play today, and a couple of games over some of the teams. So, yeah, there's an opportunity for us to move up the table with a couple of positive results. There's been quite a lot gone on since you were with me last. We had a bit of a strange start to the season. We got beat 4-1 and then we beat Dessel in the second game. Since then, we have made some signings. If we take a look at the transfer history. So, we brought in a couple of players that you'll be familiar with from last season, back on loan again. Camas actually decided to come in on loan. So that's a positive thing. He's a decent left back. And Limbomba, who is a wide left attacking midfielder, has come in again. So that's good news. Baba Traore is a left back we've picked up on a free, and he's a decent player. I'm really pleased to get him in. So we've got two good left backs now with him and Camas. Seydou Sai is a goalkeeper who's by far the best keeper at the club currently. So yeah, nice to get him in on a free as well. Elias Sierra has come in. It's a player we're not paying any wages for, and he's just a backup midfield option. And Roman Grigor is one for the future, who we're probably not going to see because, of course, we'll be moving into the FM21 cycle very soon. So there's not long for this Lommel one to run. But yeah, he would be a decent potential player to have if we were playing a few seasons ahead. In terms of the outs. Jallo moved on. He was our first choice striker last season, but I just don't think he's that good. But we managed to get 235k for him. We've moved a few players out on loan to help with the wage budget. So we managed to get Bakar to go out on loan, which is good because he's just dropped off a cliff. Longy's kind of unlucky. We brought him in as a left back in the summer, just signed two better ones, so we've loaned him out straight away. It's a bit of a shame for him, but there we are. In terms of how we've been getting on, you can see here, since we had that 4-1 defeat and then the game against Dessel, we lost to Leuven, who are probably about one of the best two teams in the league. Then we beat La Louvière in the Belgian Cup, which is a good result. And since then we've had two draws against fairly decent teams, Ostend and Westerlo. So what we're going to do in today's episode, we're going to bring you the league game against Lokeren, and then we're going to move forward a couple of games, and we've got Standard Liège in the Belgian Cup, who are second in the top flight. If you remember, we put in some pretty creditable performances against top flight opposition last season in the Cup and in the European thing at the end of the season. So yeah, we'll bring you that and hopefully we can get a decent performance out of the boys for that too. Let's go and see how we're setting up for today's game. So here's the lineup for today's game against Lokeren. A few of the new signings are in the squad today, so you'll see Sai is in goal. Traore is playing at left back. Silva, who we signed in the summer, is playing centre back alongside Neven. Hendricks at right back, who you remember from last season. Phillips and Screchu in midfield. Unfortunately, Henkens is still not fit, so he can't come in. Limbomba is coming in on the left. Van Zeer, our other lone player, on the right. Brebels in the attacking midfield role, and De Kuyfer, who's been in very good form actually, is going to start up top. If we have a look, he scored 4 goals in 4 games. So yeah, he's kind of taken that place from Danilo Pereira pretty much permanently for now. So let's get into the game and see how we get on. It's a fairly important game for us to get a result from today, I think, in terms of pushing up towards the top of the table. With the weird format they have in Belgian second division, you've got to finish top in the table to have any chance of making it into the promotion spots. And I think that's probably already beyond us for this part of the season. But it's very important that we start building towards the second half of the season and make a real go at that. I think the squad that we've assembled now is better than the one we had last season, or it should be. Certainly on paper in terms of the individual players. But of course it takes a little while for them to bed in. And that doesn't really suit this format of football in Belgium. Of course, we're not the only ones who've been improving our team. Others have too. I noticed one of the teams, I can't remember which, had brought in Aaron Connolly, the young striker from Brighton on loan, who's valued at 15 million quid. So yeah, he's probably going to be the best player in this division this year, I'd have thought. Not a lot of any interest really happened so far. We've had the better of the game. We've had a lot of possession. We've had more shots, although not many of them on target. So I think we need to get in, and we're going to get a bit shouty with them. Fire up a little bit and see if we can get a bit more passion out of them in the second half. Rebels is on a yellow, so that's something just to keep an eye on. We seem to be stifling them as an attacking force. It says, as they have a chance. 64 minutes on the clock, so really nothing has happened in this second half. And that's an effort just wide of the post. So I think it's time to make a change. Both Phillips and Scretcher are looking a little tired. They're by no means our worst performing players, but we will bring Seekman on, I think, and swap him and Nevin. He's a better defender than covering, so hopefully we won't see any long balls over the top. And we might take Brebels out, bearing in mind that he has got that yellow card, and bring Bench Haib on, who's a more than adequate replacement. We can't do a shout yet, but we will tell them to get creative. And we're going to go attacking and see if that makes any difference. Hoofed ball up there. We pick it up. Silver. Back to Sai. We're going to try and look patiently to build from the back, are we? Looks that way. Traore. Nice ball into Ben Haib. Scretchu. Passing it around quite nicely without making any real progress. Back to the goalkeeper again. Don't do anything silly. Seekman out to the right hand side. Here comes Van Zier. We haven't seen anything of him today. That's a very naughty looking foul. Is that going to be a red card? It is. It is. And straight away I have a highlight from the free kick. Looks like a counter attack. No, it's just hoofed forward and Hendricks picks up the loose ball. Into Nevin, who pushes up a little bit. Scretchu. Hendricks again. Van Zier. Go on, son. Oh, that's unfortunate. Good save from the keeper there. Oh, I was going to make a quick change, but let's see how this highlight plays out first. Limbomb picks up the ball, coming inside off his flank. Scretchu finds Traore overlapping on the left. Limbomb, but that's a very poor cross. We recycle the possession again. Hendricks, is he going to have a pop? No, he crosses it. De Kuyfer just wide. Oh my goodness. What a chance that was. And we've got just 3 minutes of added time to go. And I think we're going to take maybe Van Zier off and bring Pereira on just for a couple of minutes. He can go as an inside forward. Whether we'll get another opportunity or not remains to be seen. It seems not. And we play out a 0-0 draw. And I'm really disappointed we didn't win that. We had the lion's share of the possession. Most of the chances, just not clinical enough in front of goal. So here we are. We've moved on to the Belgian Cup game against Standard. That's taking place today. We have had a couple of games in between. If we take a look at the schedule, you can see we came up against Union, who are a good side. You'll remember they beat us 4-1 in the first game of the season, and we managed to beat them 2-1. Aaron Connolly, the £15 million man I mentioned previously, he scored for them to open the scoring, but we pulled it back in the second half and grabbed a late winner. We then played against Leuven, another strong side, and unfortunately we couldn't get a result in this game. They scored first, we equalised. De Kuyfer again, the guy's a goal scoring machine currently, but we couldn't hold on and unfortunately lost that game. We come up against Standard today. Let's get into the tactics screen and you can see how we're set up. Those two games I just talked about came pretty thick and fast, and there's not been a lot of rest before this game, so I gave the first 11 a bit of a break from training this week, so their fitness levels aren't too bad at all. I think Scretchu is the only one who's down below sort of 95, so that's good. Very very familiar kind of look to the team. Unfortunately, Limbomb is injured. He's out for a couple of weeks. So Krizan comes in. We're all more than familiar with him on the left-hand side. Other than that, it's pretty much what you'd expect. Let's see how we go. So we're pretty big underdogs for today's game, I would say, but hopefully we can put up a creditable performance, similar to how we did last season against top flight opposition, particularly in the Cup. I had a quick look through their squad. There's not a lot of household names, but they're all players who are kind of valued between 5 and 10 million quid each. So one of them is worth more than my entire team. Very uneventful so far. That I don't really mind, given the opposition. We do finally have a highlight. Starts with them. Very simple ball into. Oh my goodness me! A ball down into the flanks. Very clumsy challenge, and they win a penalty. Cardona to take, and he scores. Sadusai does not even move. Okay, that is not how we wanted to go into half time. A goal down. Can we do anything to rescue this before the break? I doubt it, seeing as we've only had one shot so far in the whole game. So, I think we're going to agree that the performance has been disappointing. Flee in their ear and get out for the second half. We're going to ask for a bit more creativity. We are set up fairly cautiously today, and then if we need to, we'll move into a more attacking mode towards the end of the game. Kajabi here gets a cross in. That's a penalty to us. Van Zier is going to take it. Okay. And it's saved. Oh my goodness. And that's going to wreck him for the game now, isn't it? So I think we're going to take him out now before it does any more harm. That's a real shame for the lad. Herrera can come on the right hand side. And we might make another change and try and push the lads forward a little bit more here. So it's a very similar lineup, just with a bit more of a positive attitude. And I think looking at this, I think Traore's not had a very good game, so we'll bring Camas on for him. See if we can get a bit more action going on that left-hand side. We'll save one change for a little bit later on, but we are going to take that to an attacking mentality right now. Demand more. Nothing happening still in terms of highlights, so one last change. We are going to maybe try and stick Pereira up top, I think. We're going to go a bit more direct. Yeah, that will do. Just a few minutes left though for it to make any difference. It doesn't seem to be. Corner here for Standard. Good save, Sadusai. Unfortunately, the highlight ends there. I thought we might have a counter-attack on them. This time round, we bow out of the cup. Well, the old cliche says, you go out of the cup, it's time to concentrate on the league, and that's what we're going to do now. I think what we'll probably do is play through until the beginning of November. We'll come back for the Ostend game, which is the last game of the first phase, and see how we've ended up there. And then we'll also play the Union game, our first game of the second phase. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It wasn't exactly a classic in terms of footballing terms. We failed to trouble the scorers. 0-0 draw and a 1-0 defeat in the cup. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. If you have enjoyed it, please consider dropping a like on there for me. And any comments you've got, I'd love to see them too. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. We've got a lot of good content on the channel already. And of course, coming up for FM21, there'll be a lot more to come. It just remains for me to thank you once again for watching, and we'll see you soon for some more action as we try and take Lommel from the bottom to the top. Bye for now.